In this timeline now, it's not just Hercule who is getting them gains. Enter YAMCHA 9001! Hey folks, MasakoX here. Tired memes aside, this series of events has been able to get people going on this channel. Granted, it has been a while since we last tackled this story, but hey, you should understand that we really needed to give Hercule's daughter, Videl, the chance to shine in her own mini-series, her special month. Now with that over and done with for the time being, it's time to get back to the meat and potatoes of this what if. It's all to do with the notion that instead of resting on his laurels, Hercule chose to take the initiative and study with Goku in the true feat of martial arts. All of this stemmed from the wonderful addition of lore that Toriyama added a few years back, which gave me the impetus for this story. Now no longer calling what Goku and pals do tricks and illusions, we now go back to asking what actually would happen if Hercule trained like Goku and got stronger than we could ever possibly imagine. Needless to say, with Hercule involved in the Dragon team very closely now, it changes the dynamic quite a bit. He and Krillin had become very close friends and trained frequently with one another, with the latter even acting as an honorary master at the Satan Dojo, something more frequently occurring during the 3 years before the androids showing up. With that though, this did push out the legendary Yamcha from the periphery and into the doldrums of loneliness. But as we will explain very shortly, it wasn't the worst thing that could have happened to him in all honesty. Over the years, Hercule became ensconced with martial arts, and gone were the days of using excuses and claims of trickery and stomach aches to get out of battles. He now had the stomach of a concrete elephant. In the last part, we covered the 3-year time skip and what our Dragon team got up to before androids 19 and 20 showed up. The Dragon team proper did their usual thing of training with the added bonus of Krillin and Hercule reschooling the Satan Dojo students into becoming the team's personal squadron to help rescue civilians in case the androids decided to rain down collateral damage for any reason. These men had about a power level of maybe 1 to 2,000, nothing special, sort of like the Freezer Force mostly in the grand scheme of things, but it would be more than enough to help regular folks out and get the word out about the Satan Castle, and that it's the most effective martial arts academy in the world, and dominating the World Martial Arts Tournament for decades to come. And as that was going on, Yamcha had hit rock bottom, and in an act of desperation, joined forces with Bulma to spy on Dr. Gero, instead of eliminating him or letting him carry on with his wacky inventions. In this timeline, Bulma decided that she wasn't going to just sit there and let the Doctor get away with taking over the world. Together, they took his evidence and research and reverse engineered, as well as refining, the cybernetic enhancement into making Yamcha into an android without telling anyone else, bar themselves and Dr. Briefs, in case Gero got wind of this. The Dragon team had no clue, so when Yamcha showed up, he looked confident, sleek, and ready for action. We resume with Yamcha taking up his stance with the look of utter assuredness on his face. Krillin and Hercule were perplexed as to how their bandit friend could be so calm right now, because as far as they could tell, he wasn't producing that much ki. From what they could remember, Yamcha would be the first one to get out of the fight, but without further pause, Gero motioned for 19 to dispose of this fool. 19 did so, and it goes as you might expect. 19, anticipating Yamcha's power level being pretty low, was caught unawares of Yamcha's speed and precision. Because remember, androids inherently can't sense energy, but Yamcha, he can, because he already had the training. Before 19 knew it, he was in a tight arm lock with the bandit right behind him, with a cool expression on his face. The Doctor's eyes turned from wearisome to mild concern. What is this anomaly I see before me? 19! Stop fooling around and eliminate him! 19's hands were flailing around, trying to get some kind of grip on Yamcha's body, but his target merely tightened his grip. Hey guys! Yamcha shouted to his friends. Buy your punching bag! Want to give it a try? The pair look at each other and shrug in agreement. Alright! They then rush to 19 and start to wail on the droid, with it unable to counter whilst being pinned. The Doctor was starting to look more and more irate, but instead of being fearful, he felt that his creation was being too complacent. What was it doing? luring these imbeciles into a false sense of security or something? It had to be that. There was no other reason. Unless these humans were stronger than his research had suggested. Might be. Gero simply observed, choosing not to help his lackey, thinking he'll be fine, reckoning it would step up at any moment now. Any moment now. Now? Taking it sweet time, eh?
Ever. Frontal load far beyond expected parameters.
I'm going with the old 19 dub voice. Gero didn't like the sound of that. Nor that voice. Yamcha then adjusted his grip, which was 19's opportunity, and his only opportunity. 19 then used this chance to grab Yamcha's arms and begin to absorb his energy. And Gero laughed to himself.
Good. Your friend is right where we want him. Soon, his energy will be ours to use against you.
Yamcha didn't falter though. Go ahead. I got plenty.
Buddy, aren't you a little bit out of your depth now? Don't you need our help?
Yamcha shook his head. No way, dude. I'm not even started. Yamcha then grabbed 19's arms in return, like some sort of elaborate handshake, and began to squeeze, his hands warming up more and more with ki before acting like laser cutters. In one swift move, he melted 19's hands off of his frame, the implements just clattering to the floor. Krillin let out a yelp. Impossible! That much ki in a concentrated space would melt flesh! Yamcha, are you okay? Yamcha nodded. Never better, pal. This new power is awesome! Naturally, the surge of ki in one go attracted the attention of the rest of the Dragon team, with them in hot pursuit. When Goku, Piccolo, and Gohan arrived, the mood changed. Gero, who had been getting more and more worried at the sight of his droid, now armless, both in arms and being armless, he looked triumphant though, at the sight of his quarry.
Ah yes, Son Goku, we meet. For the last time.
Gero clenched his fist, but Goku looked determined.
Indeed, Gero, though it seems like you're one down already. We've known about your plan for some time, and so, we've come prepared. It's over. Give yourself up while you still got a chance.
The doctor remained steadfast.
It's not as easy as that, Son Goku. Yamcha may have been lucky, but 19 can still inflict damage, you see. 19! Go!
19 and Gero began to shoot I-beams in all directions, leveling the area around them, really getting under Goku's skin, even taking out some of the Satan Castle students who had been helping out nearby civilians, them acting as human shields to help the people. Hercule saw them fall and got more and more furious. In one swift move, to stop this madness, he used one of his newly minted ultimate close-quarter techniques, the Saturn Miracle Special Strong Mighty Mega Punch. You recognize the name from the old dub? It's basically Hercule hitting 19 really hard with both hands in a pincer movement propelled by ki. Sort of what Janemba did with Pikkon in movie 12, but with ki as well. Risking being hit by an I-beam, Hercule managed to catch 19's head, stopping it from rotating. The I-beam shooting through the fighter's afro instead.
Droid, you're done. Nobody harms my men. Nobody.
At once, before 19 could respond, Hercule charged his hands up and fired them at full force forwards, crushing 19's skull like a pancake, sparks flying, circuits frying, and his body shaking with inputs going haywire. The droid wasn't going anywhere. In one last move, Hercule then brought his hands upwards and crushed the head again before kicking the body to Yamcha.
Yo, toast it!
Yamcha immediately was on it. He let out a Kamehameha, and the resulting blast turned 19 into a pile of ash and scrap metal, his head being the remaining thing, but it looked like crushed, right in front of the doctor. Ooh, that did it. In the here and now, Yamcha's extra power didn't matter. They had now taken down one of the androids that the future people warned them about. Their help not being needed, it seems. Goku was amazed with this level of teamwork.
Whoa, great job, you guys. Yamcha, though, I don't know what you've been up to, but I can't wait to train with you later.
Yamcha then feels a little bashful, letting out a laugh, and is feeling very smug with himself. But then the enormity of the situation regains the team's composure and attention. Gero and 19 had basically taken out half of the city, and the former was still there, despite looking like a cornered animal. Gero, though, was completely flummoxed, something that rarely happened in his life. His plan had fallen apart without Goku doing anything. All his research hadn't prepared him for this. and we still haven't got to Super Saiyan yet. Goku then decides to rub salt into the wound and does so, going golden right before the doctor. This also not being part of his data gathering either. There was no choice though. With a further flurry of I-beams and blasts to act as cover, Gero used his lack of ki to his advantage, escaping the city and flying away back to his lab. When the smoke cleared, the gang were cursing this guy getting away. Goku powered down and looked sickened. What a coward. He couldn't face that he had lost and so ran away. But where? I can't sense him. Yamcha, buoyed by his contributions thus far, cleared his throat.
I think I might know.
The gang turned to him. More saving graces from Yamcha? Bulma, who had seen Gero departing, reckoning it was safe to come down, flew her ship down to the group and saw that Yamcha was in one piece. Hey babe, good going out there. What's the situation? I saw that creep fly away. What, is he playing chicken? That's about right, sweet thing. They give each other a kiss. Sweet thing? Bulma then asked what the plan was, and the gang said that they would look for the doctor, but they had no clue where to start. Oh, that's easy. He'll be probably cowering in his laboratory. His laboratory? The gang repeat back to her. Yamcha then chips in. Yeah, he's got some kind of hidey hole near North City. I say we go there and head him off at the pass. We could be there to greet him. Hercule nodded.
I like the sound of that. We could end this before anyone else gets hurt.
He pulls out his phone and gives the order for his men to head back to the dojo and regroup, reckoning that this was pretty much over. As the Dragon team head for Gero's lab, Hercule spots the ship containing his men, leaving the Amembo port, going back home. He was praising internally the bravery of his men.
Who would have thought that not too long ago, those guys were a bunch of bumbling little sissy boys?
Hey buddy, you okay to fly? You used an awful amount of energy back there. Yamcha brushes it off and says that he's perfectly fine. I've got plenty in reserve, Krillin. Don't worry about me. Huh. Krillin is puzzled at this. He didn't even ask for a sensu bean. But Piccolo, who had been very quiet throughout all of this, knew the truth. He does consider to tell the others what had happened from what he could hear, and that Yamcha was an android like 19 and Gero, but he felt it might be better for the bandit to speak for himself. But then again, it might also be a little bit fun to turn the screw, as it were. Watch Yamcha squirm.
That level of energy is not insignificant. Without a sensu bean, you should be struggling to keep up with us, but you're not even breaking a sweat. It's almost like you're a machine.
Yamcha's face blanched. Yep, Piccolo's ears were not messing with him. Yamcha stammered retorts, but the Namekian was satisfied with this little poke, whilst the others were confused at why their friend would be so nervous at what seemed like a compliment. We fast forward a little bit, and our future warriors of Gohan and Videl arrive back in the past above Amembo Island to investigate the present circumstances. They pop into existence above the island and look below to see what's going on. There had indeed been a struggle and wreckage, but what confrontation had happened had ceased recently. Had the Dragon team done enough to stop the androids? What do you think, Videl? I say we go down and check it out. Maybe some people need help. Agreeing, Gohan pilots the time machine down to the ground and they inspect the scene. Shortly after this, they come across a pile of scrap metal and ash. From what they can see though, it didn't look anything like Android 17 or 18, the automatons that they had fought in the future. Where are the others, Gohan? Gohan concentrates and senses for the Dragon team. They're flying away. They're probably heading for Gero's lab. Let's go after them. Videl nods, then pocketing the time machine, assuming they might need help, and head off in pursuit. The gang then do indeed arrive at Gero's lab, hiding for a while in case the doctor had beaten them to it. He hadn't. Good, said Yamcha. He's taking his time. He thinks we're running around like headless chickens or something. Again, this newfound confidence.
Mutters Piccolo. It's almost like you've had some upgrades since we last met.
Yamcha again looks nervous. That's strange, register the others. Krillin then asks how they get in. Hey, should we just blow the door down or something?
No need, said Yamcha. I know the code to get in.
He flies towards the door, the others waiting behind him as he just calmly tapped in the code in the keypad. Seconds later, the door hissed open without any question, and the group just walk into Gero's lab lying in wait.
Okay, I've had enough of this, growled Big Green. Spill it, Yamcha. How did you get so strong? And how do you know the code to Gero's lab? Your energy levels and your performance just don't match. You're hiding something.
Hercule and Krillin then turn to Yamcha, their cogs starting to turn. The Green Man was actually right. It didn't make any sense. How can he mop the floor with Android 19 and yet his key registry be lower, seemingly, than theirs? Guys, does that matter right now? We gotta welcome that right here. We need to make the most of this, and stop Gero before he can call for backup. Why are you getting at me?
Wait, how do you know he has backup? Either you tell us what you know, or...
Or what? The bandit shouted. You're gonna stop me? You saw what I can do. You better be careful. This stunned Piccolo into silence. Yamcha realized what he just said. He didn't mean to snap. He sighed. You're right. Sorry, Piccolo. It's time I come clean. He then explained what he and Bulma had been up to the past few years since the call to action regarding the future android menace. Goku spoke for the group. So, you're an android too? Nah, Goku. I'm more than that. Bulma didn't just copy Gero's formula outright. That's not her style. She's made me even better than them. I can do anything with this power.
Anything, you say?
The gang turned to see Gero looming above them.
If my suspicions are correct, then you are indeed derived from my own circuitry and protocols. No matter how much meddling your Capsule Corp friends have done, there is still a bit of my research inside of you. What? How did you get here?
Hercule shouted.
How did I know that you were here?
Gero loved lording it over those cretins.
You fools. I am an android as well.
He removes his hat to reveal his cranium.
My internal notification system informed me of the doors being opened, the security cameras turning on and spotting you, as well as their inbuilt microphones. I've heard everything you say, Yamcha, even with your newfound gains. Simple technology still outwits the brawniest of men. Now you may witness creations even greater than what you have just witnessed.
The gang have been outsmarted. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. So what do you folks think? Will Yamcha be strong enough to defeat 17 and 18 on his own? Will Gero be able to negate his power somehow since he's based on his tech? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!